Hi guys, Simply Monica here. Doing a little video on rollers for locks and definitely long locks. Okay, as you see, I got my little, well, if you don't see, but I have my little Snuggie on because it's cold in here and I don't like to be cold. But anyway, so as you see with my hair, it has body to it. And what I did to it was I used sponge rollers. Now normally I don't use sponge rollers because sponge rollers, being that they have a sponge on it, it takes a very long time for your hair to dry. If you have short locks, these are wonderful for short locks. They actually give you a real curl instead of Shirley Temple curls, the spirals. So they actually give you a real curl and they would be bent underneath like you would with a curling iron. But with long locks, they take a very long time to dry because again, it's sponge rollers. So the sponge soaks up all the water and it just stays there in your hair. So you have to dry your hair and dry your hair, with the dryer, or you can use the blow dryer, or even if you let it air dry, but you need a long time for it to dry. I put my hair under for an hour, and my hair is mid back length, so I put my hair under the dryer for an hour, and went to sleep, woke up the next day, and it still wasn't dry. So it takes a long time. But sponge rollers give you, for long locks, they give you body. And as you see, I have body. Now, mind you, it's been 2-3 days or so. Since Sunday, so it's been like 4 days since I took them out of the sponge rollers. Now, I have definition. I have some sort of wave pattern, and some body, and that's about it. And that's what sponge rollers do for long locks. Now, I've used the big ones in the back because my big ones, the way my hair grows and the way hair probably usually grows, is my back is the longest, and then this is the longest here. Then it is the next longest, and then it goes up. So my front is always the shortest. So my front dries very fast. The longer your hair is, and even the thicker your hair is, the longer it takes to dry. So I put these in the back because I didn't want to be there all day waiting for my back to dry. My back dries the slowest. So if I put it on this size, first of all, it wouldn't fit because it's the longest and this is too small. Second of all, I would be here all day trying to dry the back of my hair. So I used the largest that I had, which is this size. Then in the middle of my head, I used this size, the next one up, the next one down rather, see? I use this size because my hair dries again, it's the length. So in the front, sorry, I couldn't use this because, so I use this for the middle of my head. And, it's not too long in the middle, but it dries okay in the middle. And of course, being that the front is the shortest and the thinnest, it dries a lot faster. So I use this size. So the smallest size that they have, I use it in the front because my front is thinner, than the rest of my hair. Now, the reason why I chose sponge rollers as opposed to the pipe cleaners and so forth like that is because I wanted body. I didn't want spirals all the time. And when you have longer hair, longer locks, you have to almost have spirals all the time. And that's okay, because I like curls and so forth, but spirals are not curls. Those are two different things. Curls is what you get when you use a curling iron. And spirals are like the Shirley Temple curls that spiral around like this. And when your hair is longer, that's all you can really get is spirals because your hair is too long to actually curl in a proper fashion. So, but I just wanted body, that was my thing. Now, sponge rollers take a very long time to dry. Of course, they're sponges. Next, there's also the rods, which I like as well. You're getting spirals. So even these rods, this one and this one, different sizes, all do the same exact thing. Now, these give you more of a spiral, like the pipe cleaners. They're just more comfortable to lay on, and of course they have different sizes. They have really thin ones, really long ones, so forth like that. These two, I couldn't use them. I could only use them for the front. The reason why, because my hair is too long, and this part has to go around your hair into the top here. So your hair is going to be trapped in here. And my hair's too long for that. Maybe one or two in the front, but my hair's too long for that. I'm not gonna roll them individually. I usually roll them two at a time. So I usually take two locks that are close together, like this, and I roll them like so. Because I do not want to be here all day. I have 113 or 103. Keep getting that confused. But, and see, look already. Now this is one of my shorter locks. Already it's coming out of the actual sponge roller area. So, and look how fat it is just to pull it up. See that? It has filled up the whole roller. You know how long that's going to take to dry? Forever. So the rods are a whole lot quicker because they do not absorb water. And, they're a whole lot quicker. They're easier as far as putting them in. They bend, you can do anything you want to with them. They're good for long, short, locks. The problem with long locks, again, unless you're going to roll them one by one, it's kind of tough to really get a good curl on them. So, same goes for these, because unless you're going to roll them one by one, they're tough to put your locks in and keep them in there properly and still be able to use this little rubber band thingy that they got on the end. So, and usually mine end up popping or stretching or something like that, and it's more work to try to get it in here. See, and it's slipping already. See? Already. Is not as good of a hold as it should be. Next, of course, the rod. The rod is good because the rod has a film on it to help it to not slip in your hair. So these are not bad because they're longer, so you can wrap your hair all the way down the rod. Now the good part about it, well, actually the bad part about it, is that it gives you a spiral, as you see. But the good part about it is, once you put it in your hair, see, 1, 2, 3. Once you put it in your hair, it almost immediately starts curling your hair. If I was to take a little spritz, a little bit of water, it don't have to be all fancy, a little bit of water, and throw it in my head, while these are in here, and just spritz my hair, I would have spirals in no time flat. No. You don't need any extra drying and all this extra time that you would need with sponge rollers. It just be curled in nothing flat. You could almost do it in a day, dry your hair, and then have curls at night. So that was nice and simple. So I probably would end up using these for the next go round. I decide to wash my hair and and curl it. So, cause I haven't been curled in a while. It's been straight, or I had the crinkles. So next and last, which is my favorite, is the pipe cleaner. Now, I love the pipe cleaners because they're long. They're very long and they curl the fastest out of every method that I showed you here. They curl the fastest because, again, there's nothing to soak up water. It's just a wire. And it's just easy to put in, easy to take out, and the curls hold the longest to me. Out of everything else, the curls hold the longest. As you see, with all the drying that I did to my hair, whole hour, went to sleep or whatever have you, you see the look. If I wanted more of a curl or a spiral, then I wouldn't go for this. This, it depends on the size, of course, holds well. But it's still thick and it still has the foam on it and whatever have you. But if you want a long hold as far as weeks are concerned, pipe cleaners are the way to go. Now, if your hair is really long, what I do is when my hair was longer, and when I want a tighter hold, and I wanted my spirals all the way up to my roots, which is what I like, I use two. I bend them in half, as you see. I bend them like this because it gives more structure to the pipe cleaner, so it'll curl your hair better. And then I take two of them because this one is not long enough. This is long enough, but it's too short. So I'll take two, start wrapping my hair, and now it's long enough. So what I do would be this. I still take two locks because I do not want to be here all day. So I start at the end, I leave a little hook, right? So I can close it later. Start wrapping it around. Bring it down. And see, it's not terribly tight as the other ones would be, but it's better. And see, I'm already running out, and I'm about halfway up. So I take the second one, bring it in, bring it right over, and then I can bring it the rest of the way up. See, and I can either leave it like this, leave it like that. I have the little loop out. I can fold it up if I choose to. See? That way, when you do it like that, it's just easy. It's just easy. It is a little bit time consuming being that they're so small and they are so fragile. But as far as small curls, a curl that's going to last you for a very long time, pipe cleaners are the way to go. They just are. And I hear a lot of bad reviews about them, but the thing about sponge rollers is that they take out your hair, number one, because the sponge kind of like eats up your moisture and so forth, and as you sleep on them, it's rubbing against your scalp, so therefore it's taking out your hair. That's one. Two, and they take out all the moisture out of your hair. Take out all your grease and whatnot because, again, it's a sponge. So fine. This one is great because, again, it does not absorb as far as moisture is concerned and hair loss. So these are great as well. Same thing for pipe cleaners. Now, pipe cleaners, even though they don't take out the moisture out of your hair, they will end up breaking. They can end up breaking your hair because it is a pipe cleaner, and the little ends are sharp, so you have to be careful about them digging in your hair. And they're skinny and they could break easily and so forth. So just be careful. But other than that, I will be using the rods later. Now, I've seen people use lock loops, for years and years and years upon years now. But my thing about them is, if I can get something from my Sally Beauty Supply store, then why am I going to order something online? I mean, it's the same. It does the same exact thing as these rods here. They're just foam, so they're easier to sleep on, but it's just foam. I'm not going to go, and there's nothing wrong with people that do. I mean, you do whatever you want to do. But for me personally, I am not going to go and order online and spend all this extra money and wait all this time for some foam triangles or some foam, I'm just not going to do it. When I can get this tomorrow at my local beauty supply store, or I can get these, or whatever, suits my need, I'm not going to do it. I don't like to do anything extra if I don't have to, especially if it doesn't do anything different than the other products do. So that's just me. Anyway, so however you curl your hair, just beware that you have locks and it'll suck out a lot of your moisture It can break your hair. The longer you leave them in, the more it'll break your hair, because them little fibers and all that stuff get in your hair and it'll start damaging your hair. And of course, like I always say, dreads are very sensitive. So just be careful, and definitely when you put in your rollers or curlers or whatever you need, then make sure you have moisture in your hair. I don't care if you have dry hair, you spritz it with some oils and grease and whatever else have you, because it'll start to dry your hair out. So that is that, and I think that is it. So I wish you luck and enjoy.